silence or mute them or turn them off. Okay, thank you. So then I'll introduce the 2026 RAC members. And first of all, we have Roger Argalis. He's the vice president and he's the chair of the maintenance committee. Next we have Eileen Weiderman, and she's our secretary treasurer. And George Ellis. Next, he's the chair of the Veterans Committee, which is a great big job, and he's new, so give him a little slack. And next we have Carol Luckenbach, who you all know. She returns as the chair of the Activities Committee. Sue Ellen Pinkerton is the chair of the Healthcare Committee. And finally, we have Jim Wagner, who has probably one of the biggest jobs of all. He's the chair of the Dining Committee. So just a few words about how to communicate with the Residents Advisory Council. I think I put something in the blog, if you've all read it, about the new in-house mailboxes that we have. Those mailboxes are located across from the Osprey Fitness Center, and there's one for every one of the committees, for the president and for the secretary and the treasurer. So if you have something you want to write down, leave us a little note. We will not do anything with anything that doesn't have a name on it. We're not accepting anonymous, okay? So the other thing is, on the bulletin board that's between the sales office and the towers, the B elevators, there are, all of our pictures are there, all of our contact information is there. Also, all the committees are there with their contact information. So you have people, you can go to look at that if you have an issue, if you have a complaint, if you have compliment, we'd be glad to hear that too, thank you. But anything that you want to tell us, please, communicate with us through one of those venues. So hopefully we'll have a very productive year. Just a reminder though, that January is the month that all of the residents clubs, resident-run clubs, can raise money. All these clubs contribute to your quality of life here at Cypress Village. So please be generous. And those clubs are the Performing Arts Club, which is the music, which is the chorus, and the handbells, who do 2 concerts a year. We have the Visual Arts Club, which provides all the nice art that we have here in Egret Hall. We have the FLYCRA, which is run by Jim Gendro, and that is our arm out to help with the legislature and the things that would affect us and our life here. Also the woodworking, the Railroad Club, and the Computer Club. So all of those are resident-led clubs. They all raise money either through donations or they raise it through dues. So please be very generous for them. So now I'll ask Sarah Jane Kopersky to come up. She's going to do our invocation this morning.
Let us pray. Thank you, Lord, for your many blessings, including this gathering to discuss the well-being of our community. Transform us, Lord, with your wisdom and peace as we set about our lives together today. Bless all of our employees with patience, confidence, and the desire to learn. Guide our actions for the betterment of all who live and work here. Help us to overcome our maladies and strengthen our faith. Encourage us to mend our relationships with humility, integrity, and respect. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. Now Dave Thornhill will come up and he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dave. Next time, Leanne will join us to do the recognition from the Human Resources Department for our employees.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are, 2026, right? So we definitely wanted to do some recognition of some of our great employees here. We'll start with December of 2025. This is the recognition from December. For Rookie of the Month, do we have Rebecca? Come on up, real quick. And Billy Preston. Is Billy here? So while Rebecca is on her way up, Billy Preston is a caregiver in our assisted living. Again, Rookie of the Month. We would also like to congratulate Rebecca. I'm sure that everyone recognizes this smiling. Thank you. All right, and so for Employees of the Month, I'm so glad, Justin, you came back. Justin was peeking in the door, and I was like, I can't leave. Justin, come on up.
All right.
And then we have David Maroney. He is a med tech in AL. A little bit about Justin. He's our executive sous chef. Everyone recognizes Justin. And he has been with us for a little over a year and a half, and I loved the picture that he picked for the Employee of the Month recognition. We do flyers, and it was a picture of him holding his newborn. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then as I shared, David Maroney, he is a med tech in AL memory care, and he will have been with us. He was with us 1 year in December. And then really quick, going through January 2026, we have Jonathan Karamay. I do not see him. He is a kitchen utility worker. He's a dishwasher, and he has been with us. It'll be 9 years in February. And just a really quick thing about Jonathan, when we asked for his picture, he was like, no picture, no picture, no picture. And we finally got him to do it, and it's actually really cute. It's a selfie of himself, so it's really cute. And then Lamont, come on up, Lamont. Lamont is our certified dietary manager. He is a wonderful asset to Cypress Village. He comes very, very educated and supported in that CDM role. We're so happy to have him here. He has a great team that he supports, and it's definitely a team that we all have a good relationship with, and I only hear just great things about Lamont. And you've been with us 3 years, right? So, congratulations, Employee of the Month, and 3 years. Thank you for everything you do to support healthcare and every other department here. We appreciate you. Just really quick, it is on the agenda, so I want to acknowledge, effective January 2026, we did discontinue the Rookie of the Month. The reason for that is we decided to see if we could do more recognition for more of our tenured employees. There's so many people that, Ty and I see night shift, Steph and I see night shift, Shelby and I, Tyler and I see, there's so many people that work those 24/7, all the different shifts. We want to recognize those individuals that have the tenure that we don't maybe get to see all the time. So we've decided to make sure that we're capturing our tenured folks, and we will continue that recognition that way. So, all right, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Barber.
Thank you, Emily. Now Eileen Weiderman will give us our treasurer's report.
Good morning. When I assumed my role as treasurer, we had a balance of $1,131.57. There were 2 coffee chat deposits in November, totaling $39, 2 coffee chat deposits in December, plus the honor box money from the library. for a total of $44.83. So given all of that, as you can see, this also appears on the back of the agenda. We have a December 31st balance of $1,215.40.
Thanks, Eileen. Next, I'd like Jim to come to the podium. He's going to give us a FLICRA update.
Got like 15 minutes.
Gotta use the mic.
Doesn't need it.
I got 50 minutes to talk. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to talk about FLICRA, Florida Life Care Residents Association. And FLICRA, which, by the way, today is the day that the Florida legislature has come together. And it will be in session for 60 days, and then on the 60th day, it adjourns. Why? Because that's what the law states. So, my first topic as it pertains to FLICRA is going to be concerning a working group that was established, joint working group by the FLICRA, state FLICRA organization. Its purpose is to look at the law, Florida Statutes 651, that is here for the purpose of protecting us and revising it. So I'm going to talk about that revision. Now, while that revision pertains to residents, it also pertains to the providers, because that's what 651 covers. It covers the providers and the residents. And the law, as reviewed recently, pertains to both elements. Now, what does that mean? That means there's a working group of residents, that's the state FLICRA organization, and there's a working group established by Leading Age Southeast Florida. I was a member of that board at one time, representing providers. And then there's a working group, which is really a state organization, called OIR, Organization of Insurance Regulation. Thank you all. See, very good. OIR. OIR is the regulatory agency that makes sure that the provider and the residents abide by the law. The law is in statute. So let me talk about the FLICRA organization. And I'm going to talk about their titles, so you'll get an idea of who FLICRA has on this working group. First one is a retired attorney and former Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Treasury. Second one is a state president and retired banker. Next is a retired CPA, internal auditor, and deputy auditor general and commander of the Air Force Audit Agency. Fourth one is a retired attorney and journalist. Fifth one is our past president of FLICRA. And the sixth one is an analyst for the Florida House of Representatives and director of the legislative lobbying. That's who was on the FLICRA working group. So then you say, okay, fine. Who's on the working group representing the providers? They are all, every single one of them, CEOs of a CCRC. And they are all, except one, CEOs of nonprofit CCRCs. One is a CEO of 3 profit CCRCs. So, a very good representation there. They started, actually it started over a year ago, and they were unsuccessful the first year. And then they said, well, maybe we're gonna try this again and see if we can get better results for the 2026 legislature. So they put a little more information into developing the proposed legislation. And they said, okay, let's develop 4 pillars of what we want to look at. And they are the role of management companies and affiliate entities. Those are management companies and affiliate entities, those are the providers. How do we prefer claims for residents? What is the governing body of the provider? And last but not least is how do we get financial transparency? The first thing was definitions. The group came up with a definition of the role of management companies and affiliated entities. Quote, controlled entities means 2 or more entities, whether for-profit, non-for-profit, owned or controlled directly or indirectly by the same interests, including controlling results from the actions of 2 or more persons acting in concert with a common goal or purpose. Let's step back in time a little bit. Up until the last several years, we never had a provider that was controlling more than one CCRC. And then lo and behold, we started seeing this both in the nonprofit world and in the for-profit world. And they started looking at the law and they said, well, you know, the law really doesn't deal with this. So they said, okay, let's put it in the law. Thus we have this definition. How do we deal with claims for residents in receivership or bankruptcy? Now, we typically in Cypress Village really not had much to think about as it pertains to bankruptcies or claims. But let me tell you, if you're in a nonprofit, because every single bankruptcy that we have seen or heard of was in the nonprofit world, how are you going to deal with this? So they decided, well, we need to tighten up how do we deal with claims for residents. And as this starts, we need to do some research. We need to look at future health care benefits or service obligations based on contract provisions. And the working group settled on the language that was developed by the Texas lien law. And they agreed, let us adopt the Texas lien law because it pretty well defines what it is we're looking at. So then your question is, what's the Texas lien law? Right? It defines how we actually work the payments. If a CCRC is in bankruptcy court, the troubled enterprise is usually filed under Chapter 11 to seek approval for a reorganization plan. And in hope is the new operator will emerge with adequate finances and a plan of recovery for ongoing operations. Operations that may make it possible to honor past promises to residents. That's our contract. In the event of bankruptcy proceedings, without such a lien, residents of CCRC who have paid large fees, that's all of us, are usually classified as unsecured creditors, even if they have refund rights under their contract with the CCRC. With such a lien, it appears they are still behind banks and bondholders. Because the banks and the bondholders stand first in line of getting their money. To secure the obligations of the provider under any continuing care contract, a lien attaches on the date a resident first occupies a facility or receives services under the continuing care contract. The lien covers the real and personal property of the provider located at the facility. The continuing care provider has to file a formal sworn public notice in the land records of every county they operate in, stating their facility is subject to statutory lien that protects continuing care residents. So what is the governing body of the provider? That definition is developed in an attempt to encompass most current business models. Financial transparency. Additional requirements are added to the annual reports. There's language dealing with deferred entrance fees, additional reporting if a facility is in administrative supervision. There is proposed language to the designated residence representatives. Recall last year, the DIR designated residence representatives was added to the law. Which, by the way, that is the person who management goes to, keeps them informed, who then works with us and the Resident Advisory Council. That's the DIR. And it is, as I said, a position a responsibility defined in the law. Never existed until last year. Proposed language related to disclosures to potential residents, and it addresses modern financial models. Now, as we look at all of that, there's a lot of language that is behind these slides that I've talked about. A lot more language. So, 651 draft as put together by the Flicker Working Group and in conjunction with Leading Age Southeast Florida was sent to OIR between Christmas and New Year's. Now, the Office of Insurance Regulation has not kicked it out yet. So we don't know what OIR is planning to send to the legislature today, tomorrow, whatever. Since the legislature is now in session effective today, I would expect they'll be doing that anytime. Yesterday, I talked to Bennett Napier, who is the executive director in Tallahassee for Leading Age Florida. I'm sorry, Flycra. And Bennett was meeting with Representative Lant, who is the House of Representatives sponsor. And they were meeting yesterday afternoon, and Bennett informed me that he was going to send out an update of where we are, i.e. Flycra, where are we in this whole process. I checked my emails before I came down, and nothing there yet. But when Bennett sends out his notice, check the bulletin board, which is between sales and concierge, the Flycra bulletin board, and I will post it there. I would expect it's going to be a multi-page update, so just look for it there. There are versions of what Flycra has done to date. And the one that was sent to Leading Age was version 13.5. So, you know, they've been busy, and Leading Age has been busy with what we give them. So, you know, it's literally work in progress. But we all as residents have an interest here, because this is going to be the law that ultimately, hopefully, will be passed by the House of Legislature this year. Just a second. What I have just discussed is why I ask all of you, every single one of you, to become a member of Flycra. because it is through your annual membership that FLICRA is able to support you and get these laws passed, because it supports the folks in Tallahassee, and they can't do this work for us unless we pay our dues. $22, $35 a year. Okay, that's all it is. 37, I'm sorry. No, 2237. So, we delivered in your mailbox, that Barbara talked about. We delivered in your mailbox on or about 1 January this document, which is the document from FLICRA. And this document, which is the request logs, you can see an envelope, which is the request for you to pay your dues for 2026. So, fill this out and put it in the mailbox down in the library. $22, $37. I will keep you posted on what is happening in Tallahassee, and they will do the same for us.
Jim, one thing, we will do an article in the February log that updates where we are as of that point. So that'll be 3 weeks into the session, and there should be some activity to report by that time.
Yeah, when I talk about, the
Okay,
session
thank
is
you.
60 days.
Thank you. Gail, would you like to come forward? And Gail's going to give us an update on the employee gift fund that concluded in the end of November, and we dispersed the checks to all of our employees the first part of December. So she'll give you an update on that.
Short one, it's only 1 page.
Good.
First of all, the 2025 Committee for the Employee Gift Fund was composed of Lori Arkless, Mary Slattery, and me, and with help at the very end from Barbara Hooper. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you. A big thank you to all of you who supported us for the Employee Gift Fund. We set a goal to raise of $250,000. We collected $244,385, which is a 25% increase over last year. There's always a little bit of leftover money from one year that carries to the next year because money comes in late. In fact, I just got a check yesterday. The number of donations last year were 404. And I'm gonna read you where they came from. I'll give this piece of paper to Eileen to put in the notes, and I'll send a copy to Barbara to put in the log, so you'll have all of this information, so I have to write it down. Anyway, we had 202 donations from the towers, 47 from the villas, which are the Cypress houses, 103 from the equity houses, because there are a lot more equity houses than there are Cypress houses, 17 donations from the assisted living, 9 from memory care, 4 from the health care, 3 from Blue Heron members, which I thought was interesting. Right, 2 from on-campus organizations, 2 from cash that we don't know who it came from, and 15 from family members of families whose members were in assisted living, memory care, or health care. So we thought that was a pretty good turnout. The donations ranged from about $25 to $12,000. Everybody who gave us a donation was sent a thank you note, except of course the unidentified one. The money we got, the $244,000 that we received was from 404 people, so that's about $600 a person. However, that's only an average. I will go back and calculate a median because the extremes one way or the other are going to throw that off. The 408 employees shared a total of $256,000. The checks varied from $25 as a token for new employees to a maximum of $2,838. We recognize that Cypress staff works a wide range of hours and schedules, and the fund's current distribution structure has become complex and difficult to administer. In 2026, our committee is going to conduct a comprehensive review with the objective of streamlining the structure and ensuring greater equity. Again, thank you to all of you who participated in the fund. And if you didn't, be sure and come next year to the Christmas breakfast so you can see how all the employees appreciate the money that you send. Thanks.
Thank you, Gail. We'll look forward to next year's, and hopefully we'll get even more participation next year. So now we will have Sue Ellen Pinkerton come up. She's going to do a healthcare committee update for you.
Thank you. Stand out there. Yes. Hello, good morning. A quick update, thank you, Drew. Quick update to tell you thank you for your generosity, your giving spirit, all the joy that you created by donating almost 1,000 cookies to the cookie donation for Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Station 59. I mean, we were overwhelmed with cookies and delivered many to the fire station. They were overwhelmed. By the time we got there, they had already been here 4 times. So we know we have a close relationship. And then we distributed the other cookies to different entities with memory care, assisted living, skilled care, rehab. We sent them everywhere. So thank you again. My other item that I want to talk about is the healthcare committee and the things that we focus on. We take anything that you have provided as a concern. As Barbara mentioned, we have mailboxes in the C area, right? The C area. Some people just come up and tell us, but we follow up on your concerns regarding sanitation, maybe in the aquatic center, in the shower rooms, emergency calls from the aquatic center, tripping hazards, such as we've had concern about the manhole cover, and we refer these things. We try to write an article in the log if we think there's some information we give you that would be helpful, and we refer them to different departments, often maintenance being one of those, and the wellness center. The last thing I want to say is that I want to remind you that this is flu season, that I'm shocked that we hear no coughing and sneezing in here this morning. That's really good work. Yes, yes. The one cough or sneeze I heard was from Carol, who really just had a crumb stuck in her throat. So we're good to go. Remind you that we do have hand sanitizer stations throughout the towers. There are some located around the dining areas. There are some located other areas in the building. So use those. Remember that if you're going to sneeze, try the elbow. Unless you have a really hearty sneeze and think you're going to blow out your elbow, your elbow's good. And I've heard hearty sneezes around here, I'll tell you. Through the walls, through the floors. Right on. Also, remember that anything you touch gets on your fingers from you, the person before you, the person before them, and all the way down the line. Walking petri dishes, your fingers are. The knuckle is a little better, but try the elbow. I learned that in COVID. Hit your floor, hit the door. Floor, door. You notice I'm getting exercise here. Doing some stretching, some full torso body movement. So try that. Keep that in your memory. Make that your war cry. Floor, door, floor, door. See you around around the village.
See, we had to replace Leo Warner. Last year's person to bring a laugh to the group. Now we have Sue Ellen. Thank you, Sue Ellen. We appreciate that. So the next up is going to be Todd Morgan. He gets to give us a state of the village.
I'm going to try the new technology.
Emily, turn the microphone off.
Testing. Testing, testing, testing. Testing. All right. You're good. Good morning, Cypress Village. Good morning. And thank you for being here today at our first meeting of 2026, community meeting of 2026, and the State of the Village address. I always appreciate the opportunity to come together as a community, and today is especially meaningful. This is our chance to reflect on the year behind us, acknowledge what we accomplished together in 2025, and share a clear picture of where we're heading in 2026. Before I get into the details, I do want to start with something very clear and very important. The state of Cypress Village is strong. 2025 was an exceptional year for our community, operationally, financially, and culturally. We didn't just have a good year at Cypress Village last year, we had an excellent year. We saw record demand, record sales, thank you, Carol, record sales and record occupancy. From a financial and operational standpoint, Cypress Village performed at a very, very high level in 2025. That performance positioned us for continued strength and opportunity moving forward. Operationally, we achieved some of the highest recognitions available in our field, including a 5-star CMS rating in our healthcare center, the Area Award, which is a deficiency-free assisted living and memory care survey through the Agency of Healthcare Administration, and a gold level recognition through Heartfelt Connections, which is our memory care. These awards are not given lightly, I can tell you that. And they reflect on the disciplined leadership, engaged teams, and a deep commitment to the excellence to our residents. These accomplishments, with others which I will discuss today, allow me to confidently report to you, our residents, our staff, and our community, that Cypress Village is healthy, stable, and thriving. With that foundation in place, I'd like to take a few minutes to reflect on some of the key accomplishments we had in 2025, and then talk about how we're going to carry those accomplishments forward in 2026. So as I said, 2025 was truly an extraordinary year for all of us here at Cypress Village. We strengthened our community, expanded opportunities and engagement with the UNF partnership, and continued building a campus defined by excellence, connection, family is a big one, and purpose. But none of our accomplishments happened in isolation. They happened ultimately because of our residents, all of you, and the dedicated team that supports all of you every day. As we look back on the year, one theme clearly stands out to me, and hopefully you. Cypress Village continues to be a place where growth does not stop at retirement. Curiosity, learning, and engagement remain very much alive here at Cypress Village. So one of the highlights of 2025 was the continued growth with the partnership with the University of North Florida. We launched UNF Day at Cypress Village. We participated in the UNF Healthcare Symposium and Gala, where our very own Sarah Ninya was named Alumnus of the Year, and I humbly accepted the Healthcare Leader of the Year award on behalf of Cypress Village. This further established us, Cypress Village, as a place where lifelong learning truly thrives. Residents and team members also had complimentary access to the University of Florida Artificial Intelligence Certificate Program. I attended several of those with our residents, and this was really the university offering a practical insight to everything we hear artificial intelligence and how it's shaping all of our daily lives, and also how it's shaping our workplace here at Cypress. This was a very forward-thinking opportunity that you really don't get to often see or experience in the senior living community. Also, through the partnership with the University of North Florida, we introduced our collaboration with the Arthur Murray Dance Studio. You laugh, but this brings a lot of movement, joy, and really connection into our community life services and wellness programming, and make it more of a fun way of working out and engaging. And of course, learning and engagement only matter if they're supported by exceptional care. And this is an area where Cypress Village in 2025 stood out. I'm incredibly proud to share that our healthcare center earned that 5-star CMS rating through Medicare, reflecting the leadership, professionalism, compassion, and consistency across the clinical teams, all led by Stephanie Markowski, our healthcare administrator. This achievement has created undeniable momentum in the healthcare center. You can see it and feel it in the culture, the teamwork, and the excellence on display every single day, and of course through positive patient outcomes. We were also honored to receive the Area Award, Heartfelt Connections Gold Certificate, and the Deficiency-Free Survey in Assisted Living and Memory Care, recognizing care and engagement provided by our teams in Northern and Southern Pines. In addition, we acquired William Rouse as our new Assisted Living Director. A promising young professional has already taken his role by storm. His leadership and energy, and I will throw in personality, have been a tremendous asset as we continue strengthening care and engagement across the Pines neighborhood. Is William here?
He was.
Behind the scenes, there was also work happening to ensure the long-term stability and strength of our community. From an operational standpoint, in 2025, we had a milestone year. Under the leadership of Lisa Green, we finished the year nearly 100% occupied in in independent living, which was 20 residences above budget, and we officially not only surpassed, we shattered the road to 95% goal. We now have a wait list exceeding over 150 prospective residents that want to join our family and our community. That level of demand is something we, all of us, should be proud of. There is a lot of demand that want to come to Cypress Village. It also signals that Cypress Village is really entering a new chapter, one that requires some thoughtful planning, adaptability, and long-term stewardship. The market continues to expand. We see it, we read about it every day, but our strategy will remain focused on ensuring we stay competitive, relevant, and of very high value to all of you, our residents. And while growth and stability are critical, they mean very little if we aren't also focused on our own health, well-being, movement, and quality of life. Wellness continued to thrive across the campus in 2025. Utilization of the Techno Gym equipment and the participation in our resident fitness challenges increased significantly throughout the year, supported by a full and dedicated team of fitness instructors led by Ashley Miller, our Director of Resident Services. As a result, year over year, we saw fewer falls, fewer hospital visits, and continued improvements in strength, balance, and overall well-being. Outcomes that matter to all of you, all of us, that are helping residents live more independently and age in place longer. But wellness isn't just physical. We all know it's social, creative, and very personal. Under the leadership and return of Brianne Eagle, our community life services team revitalized clubs, interest groups across the campus, from the garden club, training room, bocce, croquet, putters, the performing visual arts groups. These programs all brought renewed energy, creativity, and connection to the daily life here at Cypress Village. I'm very confident in that. And that momentum will continue to grow. Where's Brianne? Brianne, we are so happy to have you back, connecting these programs and elevating experiences across all levels of care with your amazing team. So thank you for that. All right, and after much anticipation, the terrace, our garden green roof project that we've been talking about in 3 community meetings in a row, has finally come to completion in 2025. I know I'm a broken record on this, but please listen. This project, the green roof, the terrace, the project originally began as a necessary effort to addressed the kitchen ventilation. The main kitchen below the roof had no ventilation. Which we successfully accomplished, but it also presented an opportunity for us to create something more meaningful for the community overall. So thanks to the persistence and dedication of David Green and our Plan Ops team, that project not only improved functionality in our kitchen, but it also created enhanced views for apartments that previously overlooked a roof and air conditioning and mechanicals, and added a beautiful new for residents. Today, that space that was just an ugly roof of mechanicals is now a welcoming space for connection, relaxation, and a community fire pit gathering. So, good stuff there. As we are proud of all these accomplishments, we also believe strongly in listening and utilizing feedback to guide our improvement. We had our biannual survey, Satisfaction Resident Survey in 2025, which reflected very strong positive feedback across most departments, particularly concierge, business office, transportation, wellness, and security. At the same time, the survey clearly identified dining as our greatest opportunity. That wasn't fun. Honestly, in every community across the country, not just our portfolio, dining is always in the crosshairs. It's just one of those departments that it's hard to win on a consistent basis. But let me finish. That is very consistent. I'll be sharing more about some of the changes you can anticipate to see in 2026 here shortly. As I start to conclude on 2025, another important area of focus we had was resident safety and education. Fraud and scams are rampant, not only through our area, but they're also going through our community at a pace that is very frightening. We affirmed our commitment to all of you and the security of our residents by hosting Lieutenant Governor of the State of Florida, Jay Collins, and Secretary Michelle Branham of the Department of Elder Affairs for the announcement and rollout of Operation Senior Shield. Building on that momentum, we are planning additional educational opportunities, including that virtual scammer payback with Pierogi, who was here. You know, the guy that, he's going to scam the scammers, and we're going to, Brianna is going to schedule that at some point in the very near future. But the goal is to help residents as well as staff recognize and avoid these scams and feel confident navigating the digital world. Anyway, let's look forward to 2026. Here we are. While 2025 gave us a great deal to be proud of, what really excites me most is how we're going to carry that momentum forward into this year. 2026, we will continue expanding the resident experience with a strong focus on wellness, purpose, and longevity. You will hear us talk more about a Cypress Village original Blue Zone inspired approach to living. To be clear, we're not trying to become a Blue Zone here at Cypress Village. However, we are very inspired by what makes Blue Zone so successful, including daily movement, social connections, purpose, nutrition, and ongoing engagement. Our focus looking forward is going to be well-span, not just lifespan. Creating an environment where all of you can live with vitality, independence, and connection like no other. This will be a key competitive advantage for Cypress Village moving forward. It will also be an important vision marker for our competitive advantage. I'm excited about collaborating on this effort with any interested residents and the Healthcare Committee and what this could possibly look like at Cypress Village moving forward. Clubs, groups, and engagement. You also will see continued growth in clubs and interest groups right here in Egret Hall on the 26th from 10 to 2 p.m. CLS will be hosting a clubs and group showcase. I encourage all residents to stop by and explore what is available at Cypress Village. Last count, I heard we have 47 active groups here at Cypress Village. So it is a wonderful opportunity for anybody to get plugged in and see what we have to offer. Dining services. As mentioned earlier, dining services was our greatest opportunity identified in the 2025 survey. 2026, you will see the following 7-point action plan. Not going to get into everything, but the 7 big points. First, it's going to be Lakeside Dining will be opening for brunch. We will be creating a new menu and a new venue. We're expecting to launch that in April of 2026. It will be plated and served, not buffet style. And it's going to feature a lighter, more healthier concept. 2, continued focus on reservation availability for dinner in Lakeside. This is one of the biggest areas of residents' contention as I sit here today. Elevating menus in Middleton's, including a focus on greater salad bar variety and choice. We are going to deliver. That is going to happen. 4, seasonally inspired menus, updated drink offerings, and scheduled happy hours and events in the Looney's Nest, i.e. bar bingo will be coming back. 5, Sandpiper grab and go options. This is in flux. We're still waiting on some capital announcements to know exactly what we can do, but there are plans to upgrade the Sandpiper grab and go for our residents. Ongoing staff training and development. And number 7, strong focus on consistency, quality, and the overall dining experience. A lot of this is underway, and you will see more in subsequent meetings and publications. Moving on to employees and culture. Under the leadership of Emily Gann, our Director of Human Resources, our department directors' employee retention improved significantly in 2025. I gotta say, this is one of the most proud key operational highlights we had of 2025. We had an estimated approximate 45% reduction year over year in turnover, which resulted in a net 67 employee gain. So we've got net 67 more employees here on a daily basis than we did last year. That is huge. So great job. So we have some real high aspirations in 2026. In 2026, our goal will be to become the employer of choice in Jacksonville, in our field. This will be accomplished through high standards, ethical leadership, education, and scholarship opportunities. Looking ahead, I'm almost done, I promise. Hang in with me, 2 more pages. This is a big one, elevator modernization. Had to keep it till the end. Had to keep you on your toes. All right, so looking ahead, we do have several long-awaited projects on the horizon. We are we are going to execute a full 8-tower elevator modernization, including complete overhaul of mechanics and interiors. A new vendor will be overseeing the A elevator effective when that is installed. That new contractor or elevator contractor's name is Kone, K-O-N-E. And we're very excited for the work to be done it's within weeks. More to come on that. We will also continue upgrades in this room here in Egret Hall. We have not invested much money in this space in prior years, including the new audiovisual system being used here today. We're going to do something with the walls and the doors here instead of, the partitions, but we're also going to do some enhancements. We have not got the final capital budget approved yet, so we don't know what type of funds we're looking at, but you will see some exciting improvements in this area. Perk up. This is not glamorous, but this is very important from a life safety standpoint. Emergency call system. I am very excited to share that we will be converting from our current original antiquated system to a new state-of-the-art platform, allowing us to operate on a single updated system across all levels of care. Right now we have 3 different systems. They're all old, none of them talk. It's a challenge to keep them up and running. So while that may not be glamorous, it is one of the most important investments we can make here. This upgrade will significantly enhance your safety and improve consistency and reliability. These investments remain ongoing commitment to our resident security and safety. And in closing, all right, as I stand here today, honestly, what really gives me the greatest confidence in Cypress Village's future isn't any one initiative, isn't any one program, not any one particular staff. It's you, the people, the residents who stay engaged, the employees who show up for work every day with care and professionalism.
and honestly the shared belief that we can continue to grow, evolve, and lead the way forward. 2025 showed us what's possible when vision, commitment, and community come together. As we move into 2026, I'm looking forward to the chapters ahead for Cypress Village. I want to thank you all for your trust, partnership, and your continued investment in our community. God bless you all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ty. The next person on the list, we were supposed to have a presentation today, and it was supposed to start at 11 o'clock for the new mobile medical introduction. And all the people are here, but we need to do the Q&A session first, and then hopefully a lot of you will stay so you can hear about the mobile medical new system that's coming in here. So right now, Laurel will do the resident Q&A portion, and then we'll have a dismissal, and not a dismissal, but an end, and then the medical people can take over.
Good morning, everyone. So we're going to start with the questions that were submitted in advance, and then we'll open up the floor for any questions that you may have. So for starters, I have 2 questions I'd like addressed. What's the situation with the robot vacuum cleaners? I never see them in use and I walk the halls regularly. So I would like to know, how many did we purchase, and do they in fact work as expected? If not, can we return them for some kind of refund? So I'll let Natalie come up and speak to that a little bit, but I just do want to explain, we did purchase one. It was a capital purchase. So that was something in conjunction with our owners and LCS, where they really wanted to trial these robot vacuums. So we were kind of voluntold, so in short speak. So no, we cannot refund the money, we cannot return them, but yes, we are actively using them, and you can speak a little bit to that.
Hey everybody, we are using the Wiz. He was not in use for a short while because I was doing a lot of things and Jose was doing a lot of things, and he and I are the ones who are running after the Wiz when he says, I'm done in room in hallway A, I need you to tell me where else to go. So he does communicate with us via text when he's done. Sometimes we get emails, hey, the Wiz is in the middle of my hallway flashing red, he needs a new bag. He tells me that, but if I'm in the middle of a meeting, I'm like, you have to wait, Wiz. So, being that, Jose has more time in the evenings, plus there's a little less traffic in the evenings. I also heard that there was, do we use him on the first floor? I have used him on the first floor, and I got a lot of, yeah, I don't like him on the first floor. There's too much traffic going around on the first floor, so we just are just doing the first ourselves manually. Plus, you like to see the housekeepers and say hi, so, you know, that gives you a little one-on-one FaceTime with the real people. But the Wiz is there. We also did get the new encapsulation machine, if you guys are very interested in that. It's doing a wonderful job bringing up the dirt out of the carpets. We all know about the blueberry stain that came right up. So bigger and better things coming on with us. We have, you know, the AI, you know, we're all going to get used to that. So hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Natalie. The next question is for dining. Can we please not use plastic stirrers for the coffee from the machines? When I first came to CV in July last year, we were using wooden stirrers, which are much better for the environment. Is there any reason why we can't return to using them? So the short answer is yes, we will return to using them. And just as a little disclaimer about recycling though, in case anybody thought they were recyclable, the coffee stirrers and the wooden coffee stirrers are not recyclable. They will still go in the regular garbage. But they go back to the ground. They go in like their compost. So when they go into the ground, they do disintegrate faster than plastic will. But did you want to speak about implementation, about when they would start?
They're here.
Oh, they're here. So we're starting now. Thank you for that suggestion. All right, and then just 2 more questions. One is the Cypress Valor nomination requires a full name of the staff member I am nominating. I don't know last names of many of the staff. Is there a place where they are listed so I make sure the Cypress Valor Awards go to the correct staff member? In short, yes, there is, but no, it's not available for residents. We have that information just internally for us. But if you don't know the staff person's last name, you could ask, or you could put just the department that they're in. So if you say Susie from housekeeping, there's usually only one Susie, and then even still Natalie can track down, oh, if we've got two Susies, we know Susie on the second floor would have taken care of this apartment. We know, we're big, but we're small enough that we know each other well enough to figure that out. So if you just put name and department, we'll make sure it gets to the right person. And then the last thing is, there was a scam that Ms. Barber wanted me to discuss. So one of the emails that is going around right now is saying that, you know, you have pictures or videos or you've been doing naughty things and I'm gonna expose you. So send me all this money right away so that we don't leak all your pictures. So in short, no, they do not have access to your pictures or your naughty things, but I don't want to know, in short, first of all. But then second of all, they don't have access to that. So the only thing you need to do is change your email password. And I'm not making eye contact with any of you, just so you know. If you have questions, just send me an anonymous email. All right, so I'll go ahead and open the floor now for questions. Anybody? Yes, sir.
I'd like to hear more about Janice.
More about
Janice.
Janice? Oh, okay. Ty, would you like to speak more? He would like to hear more about Janice.
All right, we were going to add that to the agenda, but the agenda was already created before that came up. How many of you are familiar with Janice Living, the announcement that our owners made? Yeah, very well, about half. Okay, so on Wednesday, our ownership, Health Peak, made a press release announcement about what their future plans are with senior living assets that they own, Cypress Village being one of those assets. They own currently 34 assets, 13 of which are Peak owned and managed by LCS, trying to keep it as clean as possible. Basically, our current owners, if you look at their ownership structure, roughly 90% of all of their assets are non-senior living. They're either large office medical buildings, they're life science buildings, and they're laboratories. Over the course of the last 5 years since LCS took management, their plan was to either possibly keep these assets and operate them, or if there's a potential buyer out there, they're for sale. So over the course of the last 3 years, these properties have performed very well. And in addition to that, all of the institutional investors, all the Wall Street money, there's sectors that they like to invest in, like let's say 5 or 6 sectors. Senior living, this particular sector is like the second highest yielding sector for asset performance. So our owners have switched gears. Now they want to be in the senior living business, not potentially in it, and they want to expand their footprint in it. So what they are going to do, they are going to create a separate company, and they're going to do it on the stock exchange through an initial public offering. That IPO is going to be called Janice Living, and it is going to be comprised of those properties that I just mentioned. Health Peak will remain a controlling interest owner of Janice Living. They will be calling all the shots. So LCS, according to, I'm not going to say much, but if you read the press release, what they want to do with Janice Living is they want the markets to understand the potential value of these properties, because it's getting mired down in the current structure that they have. So they're going to put it out here and they're going to make it, very marketable. What they want to do is they're looking at expanding on their current properties. So Cypress Village, we have expansion opportunities here. They just have not had the appetite to do it. So they're looking at expansion on the properties. They're looking at expanding the Janice Living footprint. So I see this as nothing but really good for Cypress Village, LCS, our residents, for the marriage between management and ownership. It couldn't really be in a better place. So this is all very positive. Were there any specific questions, Alan, that I may not have hit on?
In terms of the IPO, is there any timing, any price settlement?
So the question was, what does the timing look like? In the press release, and we can put it out, I don't necessarily know how we could get that out to everybody, but in the press release, they mention sometime before the middle of the year. This is not a done deal, it's still got to pass regulatory, antitrust, all of the, the FTC red tape, but it's looking very promising, and they're looking at it sometime mid-year.
The information discussed today, as well as a summary of Ty's State of the Village, will be printed in the newsletter that's coming out this month too. So all of these questions will be listed there, and we'll reference the press release as well. Was there another question? Yes, sir.
Has anyone ever approached the Department of Transportation about noise abatement fences on JTV?
The question is, has anybody approached the Department of Transportation about noise abatement from JTV?
Many times in the past, not recently.
Not recently, but I do recall when I first started here, so probably 6 years ago, that was a topic of conversation. Is that something that you would like to know more information about?
They turned us down.
Dave said they turned us down when the initial inquiry that was made.
Well, it hasn't gotten any better, maybe we could have another go at them.
Sure, we've got better connections in city council now.
That's true.
We can give it another go. Yes, sir. Yes, Frank? Yes, sir?
Going back to the IPO, Healthpeak is selling a minority interest in the CCRCs. Is there any financial benefit to the residents who may be stockholders of Healthpeak stock?
Is there any benefit to residents who have, okay, the question was, are there any benefits to residents who hold Healthpeak stock that with this new transition or acquisition rather, and the questions that we don't know yet? Likely just because they don't have a date on anything yet, and they don't even know if the terms are solidified. Once we know more, we'll put out more information. Was there a question over here? Yes, Ms. Carroll.
I'd like to know how you decide how much money to give each employee. I assume they don't get all exactly the same amount.
Okay, so Carol's question is about the employee appreciation or gift fund. So that actually isn't determined by us at all. This is determined by the committee. So I think if Gail, do you want to answer that question?
Yeah.
Where'd you go, sorry?
We used a formula this year that we think was similar to what they've used in the past. The gift committee got literally dumped on me at the last minute, and I have absolutely no information about how the money was distributed for the last 3 or 4 years, and very little information about how it was distributed before that. We understand that there's problems with it, and we're addressing the situation, and hope it will be much more equitable.
All right, any other questions? Yes.
I can answer how it was distributed previously if you want me to give you a
I don't think that's a topic for today, but I think moving forward, the idea would be that there be some sort of working out between the prior and the current to work that out. Yes, ma'am.
Actually sent a question in the past.
What was your question?
It was a question about, there was a rumor going around that some of our long-serving, loyal employees did not get as much as some of the new employees. And some of us were not happy about this.
Do you want to speak to that, Gail, or do you want to have it?
No.
Okay, we'll have to discuss that, but okay, Ms. Barbara.
The Residents Advisory Council has discussed this in depth, and going forward, that will be a discussion for the EGF committee. In January, they will be discussing how to equally distribute the money, and we will be working with HR during that process. We heard the rumors, we understand the rumors, and we do understand what you're asking. And we want all of our employees to receive the correct amount of money.
It should be.
Yes.
I heard that, well, we want to keep the young ones here. Well, let's face it, Most of the young ones here are on scholarships, they go to school.
And that is an issue that we have discussed, so it will be discussed by the committee, and they will bring it to RAC when they make a decision about how they want to do it, and we will use HR to do that, to give us some advice.
I think so,
Okay.
because a lot of us older residents.
We appreciate that, and we appreciate your input. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna close out. Yeah, we're gonna close out that topic for now. It's not so much on management, so that's something that the RAC can discuss with residents. Is there a question for management, Marty? Yes, ma'am?
Okay, I'm asking for an improvement in proofreading the information that comes out to us, and there's some way that it doesn't lack retractions and corrections. And then in yesterday's weekly update, December was listed instead of January. At least 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And others.
Okay, that's valid. I was asking for some additional editing for the information that goes out. And so that's something that we'll add to our cabinet agenda for each department to make sure that they have like a double check, triple check system in place for each item before it goes out. I do know there's a high volume, so it's gonna look different for different departments, like those who are sending the text messages or the apps and things like that. But we'll discuss that with each department, that they have a system in place where multiple eyes are looking at it before it goes out to everyone. All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. Oh, yes, Miss Murray. The question was about, has anybody reached out to the Department of Transportation about noise abatement for GTV? And so we're gonna reach out to our councilman. We did years ago, but we're in a little bit more of a pretty position now. So we'll try again. What's that? Our buses were items that we did add to our capital. So the question is, our buses could use some improvement. What's being done about that? We know we're getting at least one new bus, according to capital, but like Ty's mentioned, we're still waiting for some more finalizations coming through. Okay, well, up next we have Mobile Medical. They are here, so we'll allow for about 5 minutes for anybody who wants to get out of this meeting, if they want to go back home or go do something fun. And then those of you who want to learn more about mobile medical, which is also fun, you can stay put.
Thank you all for coming. We'll give you about 10 minutes, and then they'll get set up for the next presentation. Thank you.